Torah tells us about 3 different types of tzaras. There can be tzaras on a person's clothing, on one's home, and on one's body. What are these tzaras, these negaim? Why do negaim come? Is there any specific sequence to which all these different negaim come? And the Ramban explains that the most fundamental realization we have to have is that tzaras is not a physical disease. It's not an ailment. It's not part of a derech hateva klal. It's not natural. Rather, the Ramban tells us Bnei Yisrael have achieved a spiritual connection, a closeness to Hashem. And then they start to veer astray. A special miracle comes to inspire them and bring them back towards tshuva. The importance of sending a message to help a person move along the appropriate path is obvious. But why did it have to be done through this miracle? Why couldn't Hashem have sent them a message through natural channels? Medrash tells us that Hashem in His kindness does not immediately strike the person, the Adam, the person himself, but rather it starts at a distance. First with Nigei Batim and Nega on one's home, then on one's clothing, and then finally, if a person still has not gotten the message, on one's body. It starts with Nigei Batim, but why are the psukim in the opposite order? Begins with the person himself, followed by clothing, and then ultimately culminates with Batim. So Chazal tells us that the primary sin for which tzaras comes is Lashon Hara. Slander, gossip, not speaking nicely of other people. Yet interestingly, the Gemara in Yuma tells us that Negaim come in one's home because of tzaras ayin. Because what is stingy? Because of miserliness. Says the Gemara, if a person refuses to lend a kli, a vessel, a utensil to somebody, that's a reason for Nigei Batim to come. Because that's going to require the contents of one's home going outside, and you'll have to be embarrassed and show, I really had it when I refused to lend it to you. If Nigei Batim are the first step, what does sending a message about tzaras ayin, about miserliness, have to do with the potential sin of Lashon Hara, which is going to cause tzaras to come to a person's body? And what did he do wrong? Is there an avera? Are you not allowed to not lend somebody? It's mine. Why do I have to give it to you? And the answer, I believe, is that averos do not happen in a vacuum. They are preceded by hashkafic errors, the wrong outlook. The person who is tzaras ayin, the person who's miserly, who believes that whatever is mine, and I don't care about another person. The focus of the world is me. That's the person who is likely to succumb to Lashon Hara, because I'm the only one in importance. If I'm the only one who's significant, who cares what happens to somebody else? So Hashem helps us at the beginning. First, fix the outlook. The Nigei Batim. When the seeds are still being sown, maybe you can already fix it up, lest it gets worse and ends up being for Lashon Hara. And that's why the Torah speaks first about Nigei Adam, because that is the actual Avera. That's what we're trying to avoid. In practice, it will take the Nigei Batim first, but the real problem is the Nigei Adam, what's going to happen to the person. But the Torah is, in its chesed, gives us an opportunity early. How did Nigei Batim accomplish this goal? Explains the Ramban, because it's not through the natural order, because it is a nes nigla. That is exactly the reason. Because it's a revealed miracle, it doesn't make any sense. And it reminds us that everything in life is a nes. It helps us appreciate the nisim nistarim. It serves as a reminder to be cognizant that we have to look for the Yad Hashem in every aspect of our lives. The person suffering from tzaras ayin, who has placed himself at the center, does not see the Yad Hashem. Does not see who really controls the world and what is happening. With the appropriate outlook, the room for Lashon Hara isn't there. For miserliness, it disappears, because we're all equal. We're all creations, and our goal is Kvod Shemayim. So we may not have tzaras today, but what the Ramban is teaching us is that we have to always remember that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who's guiding the world. And if we realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is at the center, we are not at the center, then we have a completely different experience. Then we want that spirit of generosity. We want to do for others. We connect to other people. And that's ultimately what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to see from us. As we approach the Yom Tov of Pesach, when we're going to gather together with family and friends, this is the perspective of seeing the nisim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has in every aspect of our lives, trying to find them and using those as opportunities to get closer and closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.